We're loving and hating and making scenes. Now we just see everything we believe.
Hello, what's going on, YouTube fam? This is your boy J Money here, and I'm excited, guys, because we're doing plants a little bit earlier. I just want to show you guys that the deck is still very playable. In fact, there's multiple different ways to build the deck, and it also has an FTK with it, but that requires your entire extra deck. But if you guys want to see the plant FTK, just feel free to let me know down in the comments below, and I'll be sure to make that happen. So, what are some of the most common combos, essentially? Opening Predaplant Scorpio is very, very easy because you're playing Lone Fire Blossom in this deck. Essentially, if you resolve this, you automatically have like 4 interruptions on the board immediately. And that's really, really strong, especially in today's game. And one of them is kind of like a pseudo floodgate for your opponent's spells and traps, which is really, really good, especially if Strikers survives this next ban list. So, all you need essentially is Predaplant and any way to put any extender on the board, and like have like, let's say, a way to put a level 4 on the board, whether it be like, you know, just a reborn based card with a Right Rose Dragon, or like a Danger that's a level 4, something like that. But I chose Wyvern Buster because this is the easiest way to make it happen with minimal resources, but there's a whole slew of combination of cards that you can do to make this work. So let's get started, guys. Predaplant Scorpio is automatically going to get us our Cobra. Now again, this deck is very resilient. It is plants. It has a lot of extenders. It has a lot of combo starters going for it. So playing around interruptions, I guess at some key points, it can be pretty difficult, but your opponent has to essentially know plants in and out to kind of know what those key points are. So that is something worth noting. So we're going to make our Jasmine, activate our Brilliant Fusion. And the reason why we play Lazuli is because we do play Gigaplant in the deck, which is a very, very key piece to the strategy. So if you open it, it is a Gemini, so it is treated as a normal while on field or engrave, unless you normal summon it a second time. So that's why we play Lazuli. If you open the Gigaplant, then you can just grab it back to your hands. But you need to specifically have a level 1 plant in the grave for this whole thing to work. So let's go ahead and summon our Seraphonite. Don't know why I'm shuffling. Now, we're going to go ahead and summon our Wyvern Buster now. Now, you can do this with having Collapse Serpent in hand too. However, you do need another level 1 plant to be able to banish for Spore, and that's really important. But luckily, there are a lot of level 1 plants in this deck anyway. So we're going to drop the Wyvern Buster, and now we're going to use Jasmine's effect, and we're going to tribute the Wyvern Buster. Make sure it's in her zone, because she can only tribute monsters that are in her zone to summon any plant monsters. So we're going to summon out Lone Fire Blossom, and we're going to search our Wyvern Buster. Now we're going to use Lone Fire and tribute the other ones, and summon out our Gigaplant in zone 2 or 4. It cannot be in any of those outer zones or in the center zone. Okay, guys, now here is why we need a level 4 at this point. Again, if you had any other extender, you can use Jasmine and tribute off whatever you extended with and all that, but you still need a level 4. This is why you need a level 4 right now. So we're going to go ahead and drop this to the field by banishing a... we'll just banish the Wyvern Buster. Now we're going to use Seraphonite's extra normal summon, and we're going to use it on the Gigaplant. Gigaplant, once per turn, not a hard once per turn, can special summon any plant or insect from hand or graveyard. We're going to summon Lone Fire Blossom. And we're going to tribute it off immediately, and we're going to specifically bring out our Spore from the deck. So now we're going to go and synchro the Spore and the Collapse Serpent, and we're going to make our Garden Rose Maiden. Now we're going to chain block that Rose Maiden. When it's special summon, you get the option to add a Black Garden. So we're going to use that as Chain Link 1, Collapse Serpent as Chain Link 2. And we're going to add, where's our Wyvern Buster? Where is it? Hold on. Did I pass it? There it is. Wyvern Buster, and Black Garden. Now, you're not going to activate this right away. You want to be able to activate this when you make your Summon Sorceress. So, now from here, this is why we need Spore specific in a level 1 plant in the grave. Because we're going to use Spore, we're going to banish it, and special summon the Spore, it gains 1 level. Which means, if you sync that with Seraphonite, you can make your Power Tool Dragon. Now, Power Tool Dragon is another essential piece of the combo, because you're going to abuse it multiple times because it's not once per turn. And you're going to, for the first effect, you're going to reveal 3 Supervise, and 1 of them is going to your hand. Now, Supervise is an equip spell for Geminis. It's very, very important. Now, again, Geminis generally aren't very, very good monsters because they require you to get an extra normal summon just for their effects to be active, and half of the time, their effects aren't even that good. But in plants, Giga Plant is absolutely fantastic. So, I'll show you what Supervise does once I play it. I'll go ahead and activate Black Garden. Then we're going to sync the Giga Plant and the Jasmine into Summon Sorceress. This is why we're waiting to make Summon Sorceress, because Black Garden is mandatory. Anytime a monster is summoned, you have the attack. And you summon, I think, a Rose Token on the other side of the board, and it's exactly 800. But the reason why we do this is for the second effect of Black Garden. Second effect says you can destroy this card along with every plant and special summon any monster from the grave with the total attack equal to the it has to exactly equal the total attack, so it can't be or less than, it has to be equal to the number of plants total that were destroyed. So we're going to use Black Garden and we're going to nuke it in the Garden Rose Maiden. Since this was 1600 and the token is 800, you have exactly 2400 points to revive that Giga Plant from the graveyard. That is very, very important, guys. Now we're going to use Summon Sorceress, and we're going to specifically summon Glow Bulb. And we're going to activate Supervise. When Supervise is activated on a Gemini monster, it is automatically treated as an effect monster, so it does get its effects at this point. Then when this card is sent to the graveyard, as a mandatory effect, you can special summon any normal monster from your graveyard. And again, Geminis are treated as normals while on field or in grave. So you'll just end up reborning this once you link it off. So Giga Plant's going to activate. And once again, it's going to revive Lone Fire Blossom, tributing it off. This is still in our hand, and we're going to summon in specific our Copy Plant. Copy Plant is an important piece of the combo as well, and you'll see why in just a second. So, we're going to link everything except the Copy Plant. And we're going to make Saryuja. Now remember, Supervise is mandatory, so that's automatically Chain Link 1. Chain Link 2 will be Saryuja. Now we're going to go ahead and shuffle up, actually. So now, essentially, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to have to keep a spell in your hand. That's one thing you're going to have to do. Keep a spell card in your hand. So whatever other cards you get, be sure a spell is in your hand for when you resolve Ultimaya, because that's a card you're going to go into. 2, 3, okay, we got a spell. Oh, we got 2 spells. This is honestly pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, this is like really, really good. So, let's bottom deck these 3. We want to keep Symbol of Heritage. Now, alright. Oh, I bottom decked those. But then again, I'm not going into another Saryuja, and I'm going to go through the deck anyway. So this is summoned off the effect Supervise. Now you're going to use Garden Rose Maiden and banish it, and it lets you summon any Rose Dragon or Dragon Synchro. Not Dragon type Synchro monster, Dragon Synchro. So, since Power Tool is in that category of a Dragon Synchro monster, you can summon this. That is how Garden Rose Maiden is worded. And we're going to activate the effect again. Again, not once per turn. So, if we didn't get into any equips, you were going to reveal the other 2 Supervises and the Symbol of Heritage. But since we already got Heritage, we don't need to do that. So we're just going to reveal these and a DDR. Fine, screw it. It doesn't matter. Let's go and roll the dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we're just going to grab the DDR. We don't even need it, but here we are. Alright, so let's see. Now we're going to use copy plant effect, and we're going to make this match the level of the plant monster it targeted. Now, if we had grabbed supervise, we would have immediately used Giga Plant to summon another monster. That would have been really good, but we don't need to. So we're going to go and make our Ultimaya now. Now we're going to go and set, we're going to set the DDR. We're going to use Ultimaya, and we're going to summon our Crystal Wing from the extra deck. Let's see. I have another level 1 tuner in the deck. So what we're going to do is we're immediately going to activate the Symbol of Heritage. I got a better plan. Hold on. Come on. Okay, yeah. Here's the plan. No, we're going to do what we normally do. We're going to do what we do normally. So we're going to go and use our Glow Bolt from the graveyard. I had a plan not to use it and then make Nat Beast on top of everything, but we're going to do our normal strategy. We have an extender, and we somehow managed to get into a level 4 Earth Plant monster. That was just lucky, but we're going to do what we normally do. We're going to go Boral Savage, and we're going to use that, and we're going to equip our Summon Sorceress. Now we're going to link both Saryuja and Ultimaya, and we're going to make Celestial Spheres. Now we're going to use Symbol of Heritage. Again, if we would have got Supervise, we would just use Supervise to make Giga Plant an effect monster once again and just keep the Lone Fire on the board until this point. So, Symbol of Heritage, for those of you who don't know, you can only activate it if there are 3 monsters in the grave that share the same name, and you're going to target one of them and special summon it. So since we already went through all 3 Lone Fires, we're going to summon one of them, and we're going to tribute it off. This is destroyed. And we're going to summon our Naturia Rose Whip from the deck. This card is your Great Shogun Shien of the deck. It is summonable from the deck because it is a plant monster. Your opponent can only activate 1 or spell or trap per turn. That's huge, especially when you have decks like Salad, Guru, and all that stuff. Altergeist, Shrieker especially. So this could put all of that in check. So we have 4 to 5 interruptions. This is kind of like a pseudo floodgate. You have a monster negate, and you can negate anything. If they need to activate cards, they're going to try and run this over. You can use Celestial Spheres, since it is a quick effect on the opponent's turn, to tribute any dragon from field or hand, including itself, and return a monster to the hand. But there's more. When this is tributed, you can summon any dragon from your hand or your deck, but its attack and defense becomes 0. But since your opponent is already in their battle phase, and you bounce their only monster, you have a Morphage Goliath on the board, locking them out from the extra deck, and they can only play 1 spell a trap, and you still have these 2 for negates. Now, guys, what was I thinking about doing earlier? So, what I was thinking about doing earlier, again, we had an extender, so we were good to go. So, essentially, what I was going to do from here, instead of summoning the Rose Whip, and we weren't going to use Global, we weren't going to use that effect to go into our Savage. What we were going to do, okay, so this is our board state we were on. What I was going to do is use Saryuja's effect to special summon the Flower Knight first. Then we're going to use Symbol of Heritage to revive the Lone Fire Blossom, immediately tributing that off to summon another level 1 tuner from the deck. Any level 1 tuner. Then synchroing these bad boys into that Boral Savage. Then link these 2 off, make that Celestial Spheres. Then use Glow Bulb, mill a card, summon, synchro, and then make the Nat Beast. That's how that was going to work. So we would have had, these with the Spheres and the Goliath. That was what I was originally going to do. But I don't really need to do that. But I wanted to show you the typical combo of Rose Whip. So that's that, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this plant combo. Plants I really love. Again, they're very resilient. They can play through a lot of hand traps. There's a ton of extenders in the deck. There is a plant FTK, but it does require your entire extra deck. But if you guys want me to showcase that, then feel free to let me know down in the comments below. Other than that, guys, that's it from me. Thank you guys very much for watching. This is J Money, and I am signing out.